What's up you guys, Sasha here. Now in this video I want to talk to you about how you can go and climb the credit ladder, exactly how long some of these processes will take, how you can qualify for better products over time, what products are available at the different stages, and tell you exactly how you can go from basic entry-level credit cards through to the most prestigious, the most fancy, the best credit cards out there, and the steps in between and what you'll get at every stage. Now Ben at Credit Tree Food, that you might have heard of, it's a very big US based credit channel on YouTube. Go and look him up if you're interested. I'll also put a link below to the video that I'm referencing. Put out a video a few years ago where he talked about exactly this, and actually very recently he went and updated it. And he talks about a specific tier-based strategy. It's very simple and I really liked it. It's really clean, but he talks about the same kind of thing for the US market. And so when I saw that he updated it, I kind of thought, well, it would be really interesting to do exactly the same thing for the UK market instead. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk you through exactly all the different credit cards in the market that I would classify into these different things, tell you some interesting anecdotes. So let's jump right into the first tier. And the first tier is what is commonly known as near prime credit cards. Now, really simply, the reason that they're called near prime and the reason that subprime credit cards don't really exist is because of the way that the credit card commercial model works. There is a certain risk level, a certain level above which, if a customer's likelihood of default is too high, it is impossible to create a credit card that would actually be able to be priced effectively for that level of risk. That's the reason why you don't really have subprime credit cards anywhere that actually target real subprime customers. When people talk about subprime credit cards, they talk about this near prime segment. So what I mean by that is typically you'll see credit cards that are priced up to sort of like 30 to 35% territory in terms of the advertised rate. And then for the high risk customers that get accepted, that rate can be as high as 60 to 80%. But there's no credit cards that will offer you 1,200% or 5,000% or anything like that you will see with some of the loan products. And the reason is a credit card works in a fundamentally different way to the way that a loan works, and it just wouldn't work in those segments. So that's the highest risk, that's the lowest level that you can enter the credit card spectrum at. Now, there's several different players in there. There's Aqua, they offer Aqua Classic and Aqua Advance. They also do the Amazon Classic card, and they do other products like Marbles, Opus, and Fluid. There's Tesco Foundation, there's Vanquis. They do several different brands again. They do Vanquis, Origin, Aquis. In the past they've used lots of other ones like Black Diamond or Granite. Then there's Capital One Classic. They also do Ocean Finance, which is the same card just under a different brand. Then there's the 118 Money credit card, which is interesting. They don't do any fees unlike all the other ones, but the same sort of interest rate. Then there's Barclaycard Forward. Now Barclaycard have been talking about doing near prime credit cards for some time, but they were always not quite there. But recently they've crept down further and further and further, and their forward card is very similar to the Aqua Advance card in that if you make payments over time, then what will happen is your rate will reduce. They tell you they'll reduce by 3% in the first year, and then it'll reduce by 2% in the second year. Aqua used to do 5% per year from the starting rate if you continue paying on time, but if you look at their website for the Aqua Advance today, it doesn't actually anywhere say how much it reduces by. It doesn't say on the page when you're looking at it, it doesn't say in the terms and conditions, it doesn't say in the summary box. I looked. So exactly how much it reduces by is a mystery. They just tell you that it will reduce by some amount. Anyway, what will happen with these is you're not going to get any perks whatsoever. You're going to pay 30 to 35% interest if you choose to pay interest by not paying the card in full. So because that's really expensive, it's just a really bad idea to use one of these credit cards for actually borrowing money. If you are new to credit, if you're wanting to build credit, if you had credit issues in the past, you might want to go and get one of these credit cards in order to build credit. So just getting the card, putting some spending on every single month, then repaying it in full without ever paying any interest will build your credit and it will enable you to climb the ladder. Whether you knew, whether you've had issues in the past, it will help. That's how credit builder credit cards work. That's why they're often referred to as credit builder credit cards. Now at tier 2 we have basic credit cards, and in the past there used to be way more of these. Today there aren't as many, and certainly if you look at comparison websites you pretty much won't see any of these because they're just vanilla, they're neutral, they don't really do anything, they don't have any features, they don't have 0% terms. Some of them do, some of them have short 0% terms for like 6 months or sometimes 9 months. But there's no specific feature for advertising them. They're just like the most basic usual credit card that you'll have, but they're a bit better than the ones that we were talking about in tier 1. And typically the way you'll find them is if you just go to a website of a big bank, let's say HSBC, you will be able to go and click on credit cards and see like one of these credit cards in there. They're typically like priced 18.9 to 23.9% or something like that. They give you pretty much no perks, very, very limited, sometimes like a 0% on purchases for a short period. Their credit limits will probably be somewhere like £1,500 to £5,000 or thereabouts. So it's enough for most people for like regular everyday shopping over the course of the month. So if you repay it in full, then that's probably enough for just buying food, buying petrol, paying for some bills for most households. So that's pretty good. You probably should go to your own bank to go and see if they offer it. There's no real difference between them, but with your own bank, you're more likely to actually be accepted and qualify. Now, if you're moving up through the tiers and you start, say, with no previous credit history, you will probably need to hold your Aqua Card, Tesco Foundation, Barclaycard Forward, Capital One Classic, any of those credit cards, I've forgotten a few of them, for at least a period of 12 to 18 months before you're going to be able to qualify for one of these. And that's because a lot of the metrics that these credit card companies use will go at least 12 or 18 months in the past in order to be able to see your trajectory and your progression and your ability to make repayments on credit. In some cases, if you've had phone contracts or if you had a current account with an overdraft, that might not be the case and you might be able to condense it a lot more. Make sure you stay on top of things by setting up an account with something like ClearScore and checking regularly on various comparison websites, because not all of these different comparison websites operate with all of the different products, so you need to go and shop around a little bit. But with SoftCheck, you can do that every now and then to see when you do actually end up qualifying. I'm just talking about on average. Now, there used to be more of these products. Because of the downturn in the economic situation, a lot of banks pulled out of these vanilla products because a lot of the customers sitting in this sort of don't quite qualify for tier 3 products, but are a little bit above the tier 1 products. The likelihood is that if the situation goes and worsens and more people lose their jobs and there's a massive economic downturn in the next few months, then these customers are likely to go into a much higher risk profile. So instead of them being, I don't know, let's make up a number, let's say 4 or 5% likely to default, maybe they're going to go and have a 10 or a 15% likelihood of default. So if you're only charging 18.9% interest on those customers, and their risk of default goes up considerably, and you have all the costs on top and the cost of operating the product, the cost of funds, etc., 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 then suddenly this product will not be viable. So a lot of banks, a lot of credit card companies have actually pulled these products, so there's not that many of them. Usually this is a huge proportion of the overall portfolio of credit cards. It's definitely dwindled down a little bit. So let's talk about tier 3. Tier 3 is what you hear about the most. This is like the most popular thing that people like Martin Lewis and other websites talk about. This is all your rewards credit cards and sort of the debt shifting credit cards. So what I mean by that is all the kind of balance transfer credit cards where you're moving a debt from one credit card to a different credit card because it's cheaper, and you're able to say for 12, 18, 24 months, however long you get on it, to not pay any interest and just pay that one-off 3% or 4% fee. There's also the money transfer credit cards, which again is sort of like shifting debt. Typically you'll move money to your current account so that then you can use it to repay something else or to make a purchase, but then that money transfer after some introductory period in most cases will still be charging you interest. So there's those types of like sort of 0% credit cards on money transfers, balance transfers. Some of them will offer you 0% on purchases for a fixed period. That's just trying to encourage you to go and spend right up to your credit limit over the first 3 months typically. And then once you have that balance, then the balance will stick around. And after your 0% promotional period ends, however long you have, 12, 18, again, 24 months, or maybe longer in some cases, it depends when you're watching this video, then you'll notice that suddenly the balance hasn't reduced by as much as you thought it would, and you probably went and spent on it after the first 3 month period as well, and then you're going to be paying a lot of interest on that. Now the reward side, I'm going to come to the more popular, the sort of like the very fancy rewards cards in just a second, but the sort of everyday regular loyalty rewards cards probably fall into this spectrum as well. So you're talking like all the sort of supermarket rewards and loyalty programs that come with a credit card. But the two best ones in this space are the ones I mentioned a few videos ago. They're the 2 cashback reward credit cards by American Express. They're very, very similarly named. They're both platinum. They both look pretty much identical. One comes with an annual fee of £25. The other one does not. For people who spend more, and especially in the first year, the £25 card makes more sense. You've got to go and make your own mass decision as to which one you'd prefer. Just by way of a really quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. I know nothing about you, so I can't provide financial advice to you. If you do need financial advice, please go and seek it with a suitably qualified professional. All of this is just my personal opinion. I'm just telling you what I kind of think about these products. Anyway, so if you're looking for a rewards card, I would say those two American Express cards today are far better than pretty much any other offering in terms of what you're able to get. Go and watch the video that I'm going to go and link up here and in the description below for the details as to exactly how good those Amex cards are and why somebody might go and consider them. I actually don't benefit whatsoever from recommending them. In fact, American Express doesn't like me because I've previously made some videos that weren't as complimentary about them. But anyway, I think these are very good, and maybe they won't stick around too long, so maybe we won't have them soon either, and then there will be no good rewards cards in the UK at all. So let's move on to tier 4. Now, tier 4 is sort of the premium credit cards that are available to mere mortals like you or me. And the reason that they are available to mere mortals is when I come to tier 5, I'll explain to you that regular everyday people can't even get those credit cards. But let's come to that when we come to that. Let's talk about tier 4. So these are the kind of credit cards where typically you'll be paying a fee, and usually that fee will be quite high. So for one good example is the Tesco Club Card Plus credit card. They used to have the Tesco Premium credit card that charged an annual fee. Now they have this other card that is linked to their Tesco Club Card Plus program within their supermarkets, and you're paying $7.99 per month, and you get a bunch of perks with it. You get perks for shopping benefits and whatever that they bundle into that. So that comes out quite a lot, because that comes out at, what is it, 80 plus 40, £94 a year. So that's quite a lot of money to be paying for a credit card. Alternatives are, you have the BA Amex. So what have I got here? £5,000 Avios if you spend £1,000 in the first month, 3 months. I'll have the information up here. And then you also get 1 Avios point per pound spent. So if you like your air miles, that might be worthwhile, especially given that Tesco have just literally this morning I received my letter about the fact that they're pulling out of working with Avios, so you can't exchange your Tesco Club Card points for Avios any longer. So if that's what you want to do, maybe you want to get the BA Amex instead. Other products include the Amex Gold credit card. Now don't confuse the credit cards provided by Amex with their charge cards. They're fundamentally different products and they work in different ways. But the Amex Gold credit card is definitely in that premium sector. You're paying £140 fee per year. It is free in your first year, it's waived, but from your second year onwards, you'll be paying it from the beginning of that year. So the moment your 12-month period strikes, that's when you're going to begin paying it. You get perks like 10,000 points, rewards points for £3,000 spent in your first year. Now that sounds like a lot, 10,000 points. It's actually equivalent to about £50 worth of benefit. So you've paid 140, you get £50 back through those points in the first 3 months or whatever it is that you have to spend that 3,000. So then you do get other perks, like you get an ability to go and accrue points for further spending through the year. You get other benefits to do with travel, to do with actually being in airports. Probably not very useful, probably not very applicable today. So if that's what you're looking for, maybe you want to wait it out until those perks are actually worth something. Maybe you travel all the time, even during this period. I don't know. It's kind of up to you. Charge cards, again, I did say that they are different, but American Express do charge cards that kind of fall into the same category. So you're paying a huge amount of money. So a good example is their Platinum charge card. You're paying £575 per year. And for that, you get £150 worth, so that's 30,000 points. If you spend £4,000 in the first few months, and that's kind of cool, except for there's still another £400 plus worth of fees that you've handed over on top of this perk that you need to make use of. And they do offer a lot of travel related benefits. So travel insurance, you got hotel tiers and car rental tiers. So if you go and stay in a hotel, or if you go and rent a car, you get upgraded if you have one of these cards to the next room or to the next car level. It doesn't always work as well as you think. I've tried it. I probably should make a video at some point about that. But anyway, you get access to premium lounges in airports. You get the Platinum Concierge, where they can get you tickets to things that nobody else can get tickets for. Or they can make you that unique reservation in a restaurant that is completely booked up for tonight. Allegedly, apparently, I don't know. It's very expensive. It gives you a lot of perks, probably not very useful this year. So again, it depends on whether or not you think you use them. NatWest Reward Black is another card. The same card is offered by RBS as well. They're the same bank. So you pay £84 fee and you get some benefits like 0.5% cashback, 1% in supermarkets, and a £5,000 credit limit as a minimum. So that's nice. Then you have the Santander World Elite. It is £15 a month. So that's 180 quid a year. That's a lot of money. And you get travel insurance, you get lounges, you get 0.5% cashback, only up to a maximum cap of £15 a month. See, like they don't want to give you more money than the amount you're paying them. So you'll never actually see that cashback. It's just your fee will essentially be covered. That's quite funny. And then you also get no forex fees. The truth is, the vast majority of these cards offer you no real benefits above the tier 3 cards. Tier 3 cards still offer you some of the travel perks in some cases. Tier 3 cards still offer you cashback and other stuff like that if you want it. These cards are really there for people who really want to kind of show off the fact they have the most premium card out there. In most cases, you can get the same perks for much better value somewhere else. If you really do travel a lot and you can really make use of all of those things that some of these cards offer, there is a potential argument, but with some of these, the benefits are really just not worth the huge astronomical fees that you're paying for them. You can go and get a travel insurance policy for 30, 40, 50 pounds for your family if you really want it. The rest you can get with a card that costs no monthly or annual fee whatsoever. Anyway, let's move on to the next tier. Tier number 5 on my list. This is the sort of, I probably collectively will call them the black cards. Now, a lot of people have heard of them, but the truth is, you can't actually go and just find them and apply for them. That doesn't exist. With some of them, they just outright say, you can't apply, you have to be invited. With some others, they say, well, we don't currently accept applications, except they always say that, and there's just no way of applying. With others, the criteria for applying are so bonkers and so insane that most regular people would never in their lifetime ever hope of qualifying. Let me tell you about some of the examples. So, Barclays Infinite. It is as mysterious as it is rare. I have never actually seen one in real life. It only has a £150 per year fee, so that's pretty low, but it does have the same usual bunch of perks and benefits in exchange for you holding at least £50,000 worth of investment or balance on a current account with Barclays. And even then, you can't just qualify. You have to have your banking relationship manager or somebody go and invite you to this exclusive club. Next up is the Centurion credit card. Now, this is the one that everyone's probably heard of. This is the sort of the invite only, the unique American Express credit card that only select spenders get to have. It is made of titanium, which is an extra perk because if you particularly dislike your wallet and you want somebody to go and get you a new one for your birthday, that titanium card will be extremely good at cutting it up double quickly so that then you can show the tears to your girlfriend, wife, mother, grandmother, or whoever it is that buys you wallets for your birthday. I don't really understand why you would want a titanium credit card. I mean, it's gonna just be heavy, it's gonna tear stuff. I don't get it. I don't really understand exactly what it is useful for, but some people like it. Some people really like to show their friends that they're so wealthy they have a titanium credit card. The way you get invited to it is it depends on which website or which reviewer or which person you believe. It is somewhere between $350,000 and $500,000 that you have to spend on some other American Express credit card in the preceding year in order for them to then consider inviting you to this prestigious club. And it's the same around the whole world. This is a global kind of card. You get to pay $10,000 as the initial fee for just joining, and then you get to pay $5,000 per year after that for the privilege of being able to use this credit card. So if you do want that titanium credit card, titanium is expensive these days. You know, they do make tennis rackets out of it, but for credit cards, I think it's this extra premium titanium that's going to cost you that just little bit more. Now, the last one on my list here is the Coutts Silk credit card. It doesn't have a fee. It is absolutely free, but you can't quite just go and get it. There are some qualifying criteria that they actually, to be fair to them, they are very open, they're transparent on their website. They tell you exactly what it is that you have to hit to get it. It's very simple. You either have to have an annual income of over £500,000 paid into your Coutts current account, for which you also have to be invited and accepted into, or just really easily go and invest at least £1 million into Coutts savings. And one of those two criteria, if you fulfill it, will qualify you for their credit card, the Coutts Silk credit card. Maybe it's made of silk. Again, I've never seen one. But we shall find out one day, maybe if I actually go and bother researching this and actually seeing somebody use one for real. Anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. If you're interested in progressing through the stages, the one thing I didn't really talk about, typically speaking, it takes probably about 12 to 18 months to go and progress from the initial to tier 2 credit card, and from then on you're probably looking at 12 to 24 month windows in order to go and improve. And the reason for that is some of the metrics that credit card companies use to try to assess your behavior are going to be weighted towards the 12 to 18 month mark in terms of the more important, the more crucial variables. And the less important variables are going to be covered over the last 36 months. So typically speaking, you probably can get to the tier 3, tier 4 products by some point sort of 2 to 3 years after you start building your credit history theoretically. Again, as I mentioned earlier, go and check this, go and check whether you qualify for things as you go along. For these tier 5 credit cards, your credit rating is really the last thing that matters. By the time you have a few £1,000,000 to go and invest in order to get a credit card, I don't think you'll really go and check your credit profile very often. I don't think you'll care. I don't think they'll care either. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, please go and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it. It would super help my channel. It would be so great for me to be able to reach more people with my content, for me to be able to grow this channel more quickly. Thank you so much if you have smashed that like button. If you haven't, even after I told you all of this just now, go and do it right now. Please, come on. You listen this far. The least you can do is go and hit that like button. If you're interested in more content about personal finance products, interesting stuff about how to manage your money, how to manage these different products and make the most out of them, make sure you go and subscribe to this channel. That is exactly what I talk about in every single video. Go and hit that bell next to the subscribe button to get notifications whenever I go and release these videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.